Hello. All right. I am going to give it a second. I actually just got off of a live over on Facebook where we discussed mental health. We're wrapping up Mental Health Awareness Month. And I had the honor of being a guest on Sean Marcus Fowler's show. It's called Speak Up. And we discussed some areas of mental health. We discussed suicide prevention, some various different things. But I also, and I probably should have let people know I was planning on going live tonight. But, you know, if you are available and you're not working tomorrow, jump on and, you know, let's have a nice conversation, okay? Yeah, I probably should have let people know that I was going live. Hello. So tonight, I want to talk about something that I actually get asked about quite a bit. And not everybody can handle this conversation. So I don't go live or talk on YouTube too much about this particular conversation, about consciousness, about all things law of attraction, the creative energy out there, the creative energy that's within you, the potential that's within you. But I wanted to make a live tonight about this. And I wanted to let a lot of people out there know, hi Alta, let a lot of people out there know this is the reason why, ladies, you are struggling, whether it's with your work, whether it's with your money, whether it's with the men in your life. You are struggling because of this inability to manifest. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the competitive space versus the creative space. And we're even going to talk a little bit about some spiritual principles that I have been using forever, and they work. They work. What can I say? These principles work. When I'm struggling to manifest something that I want to come into my life, a lot of it has to do with my thoughts. My thoughts are going to a really negative place, or I'm just, you know, I'm not in a good place. Sometimes it's because I'm not in a good place physically, like I have a health ailment, and my thoughts will start to go to a very negative place. But 9 times out of 10, I get what I want. I get what I want because I am consistent, if nothing else. Like when I set my mind to something, I'm like, yep, I'm going to speak about it, think about it, act on it. I am going in the direction of it. And I have a faith about it that is unwavering. And that's super important. Okay. So how to manifest anything. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to manifest the man of your dreams, but we're also going to talk about how to manifest money, how to manifest the job you want, how to manifest getting into the school you want to get into. If you want to get into an apartment, buy a home, have a house, a car, whatever it is. But here's the secret, and there are several secrets. So I'm going to speak on all of them, but the main secret is this: faith. It is your level of belief, right? And it's a lot of us have limiting beliefs. We don't recognize that subconsciously we have limiting beliefs. And so we must rewire that. We must go not just to the conscious level. We've got to go deeper. We've got to go to that subconscious level. Hi, Pierre. We've got to go to that subconscious level. We have to figure out what are the subconscious beliefs that are holding us back. And then we have to figure out how to rewire them, because that is the secret sauce. So even if it's like the difference between being awake and being asleep. There are beliefs that are running in the background, and it's kind of like you are asleep. It's your subconscious that's just running the show. And even in your consciousness, you don't recognize what those limiting beliefs are, but you've got to be willing to dig them up, because you're never going to have beyond what you believe. You're never going to be able to create that or manifest that. We have to get it out of you, the limiting belief, the negative belief, and we have to put in that positive, stronger belief that says, yes, I can have this. This is for me. This is what I am. This is what I do. So I'm going to talk briefly, and it's going to be really brief, about why Kevin Samuels and his style of speaking to people, why that was so disconcerting to me, why I found it so disconcerting. And here's the main reason why. He believed that everything was a competition, right? There was no spirituality or spiritual part of anything that he was talking about. There was a lot of good facts, because believe it or not, there are a lot of things that he's spoken on that, there were a lot of good, logical, rational facts, right? I've even said it. There were a lot of facts there that he had. However, I'm here to teach you to go beyond that. I want you to go beyond this idea that you have to compete. You have to be in this competitive mindset, or everything has to line up so factually, so logically. Good evening. Because guess what? It doesn't. But again, you have to be willing to go to this plane with me. Like, you have to be willing to step outside of yourself. That's what that spiritual plane is. You're not going to see it. You're not even going to fully understand it. But when you're willing to go there, that's where everything you want lives. You've got to be willing to go there. And so one of the ways that I take people there is I say to them, if I show you something, if I give you a principle, if I give you something to do, and it will guarantee the results that you want, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? I don't want you to question it. I don't want you to push back on it. I want you to believe that what I'm instructing you to do is going to get you the outcome that you want. Like, just focus on the outcome. Don't focus on the how. You're going off in the weeds thinking, well, Anita, if I say that, or if I do that, or just speaking words, that doesn't work. See, you're going off on the weeds. When all you have to do, all you have to do is focus on the outcome. So that's the biggest part of manifesting, is I don't necessarily focus on the how. I focus on the outcome. That's all I'm thinking about. That's all I'm dreaming of. That's all I'm speaking of. The outcome. This is what I want. I'm going to get this. I'm going to be so grateful when I get this. Boy, now that I have this, that's all that I'm thinking of. That's the beginning of the manifesting. So we start with a desire, right? Let's start with a desire right now. I have a desire. I have a desire for a hot fudge sundae. I have a desire for a really good cup of coffee. I have a desire to be married to a provider man who is kind, who is loving, who is tall, who is, what else? What else can I add to that list? Who has great teeth, right? Who smells good, who's clean shaven, because y'all know I love a clean shaven man. I don't like beards. Who is attractive, who is madly and crazily in love with me, right? So I'm just thinking, I'm just sitting there thinking and visualizing, and you can even script this out. So not only am I thinking about this, I'm writing it, I'm scripting it out, I'm visualizing it, and I'm visualizing everything about him. And here's the thing that's going to happen when you're doing this. So some blocks, some resistance will start to come up, right? So for me, that resistance is always around money. I have a lot of resistance around money. Even manifesting a man that's wealthy, I have resistance around money, and it's something that I'm constantly working on. I am constantly working on. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I deserve money. I am wealthy. I already have everything I need financially. It is easy for me to attract a man that has more than enough. more than enough financial resources, and he is generous and wants to share it with me. Like that's where my mind goes, because there's something in my subconscious script, like I can admit it, that there is a block there. There is some sort of, you're not good enough, you don't deserve it, that's not for you. There's a block. There's a block in my subconscious programming around money. And I know where it came from. I had a conversation with my mother and my father, and I know where it came from. When they started talking, I was like, ooh, they were talking like this when I was a little kid. And I was like a tape recorder, tape recording everything they were saying. Things about money, things about not having enough money, things about people in our family that, we're not rich. We don't have money. That's not for us. But they were saying these things when I was a little kid. And let me tell you all something. Between the ages of conception and 7 years old, you are a tape recorder. You are in theta mind state. You're tape recording everything you're hearing, everything you're seeing. And because you have no frame of reference about those things, like you're accepting it as real. And what's amazing is there are so many people walking around that they are running off of a program that they got when they were 5 years old. And they're 40 years old and they're wondering, why can't I, get anywhere? Why can't I make more money? Why can't I be in a healthy relationship? Why can't I fill in the blank? And it's because you are running off of a script that you got in your childhood. And you're 40. And you have to want to scrub that programming clean. You have to be ready to scrub that programming clean and start fresh. This is something I've had to do, and I've encouraged other people to do it. You're running off of a childhood script, and you've accepted it as your reality. And it's not. It's not even close to your reality. Whatever you tape recorded from your parents or your grandparents or your aunt or your uncle or your brothers or your sisters, it isn't real. It is not your reality right now. You've got to be prepared to scrub that program clean and put a new program on. That is the beginning. That's something I have been working on for 14 years. I have been reprogramming my subconscious mind. I have been using that theta mind state. So that is the state you are in twice a day. It is the state between you being conscious and you being asleep. So however long it takes you from I go into bed and I'm awake and then I'm asleep, whatever that time frame is, that is your theta mindset. That's your theta mind state. Okay. For me, that could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. So that's my theta mind state. You will also experience this when you are coming out of sleep. So when you are kind of just starting to stir, or the light is coming in through your window. So between that and I am totally awake, you are in that theta mind state. That is when your mind is most susceptible to being reprogrammed. And so I have used things like paraliminals. I have used self-hypnosis. I have used recorded programs, whether it's me recording it or someone else recording it and me listening to it. Every single night for 14 years, I have listened to these programs or used self-hypnosis to scrub that old program off and put on a new program. Okay, she says, yes, as a child, I believe we didn't have enough. And I also see how that played out in my programming, for sure. For sure. And so many people are running these old programs and they're grown. And now is the time. Now is as good a time as any to take that off and put on a new mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. You have not because you ask not. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Faith without works is dead. That's it. These are biblical principles, spiritual principles. And so Reprogramming yourself. That's a big one. That's a big one for a lot of people because they are running a subconscious script. So even in their consciousness, they're saying things like, I can be rich. I can have love. I can get married. I can have a family. That's for me. I can have that job. I can have that education. Like these are all the things that their conscious mind is saying. But 95% of what you're doing, of what your life is your subconscious programming. So when you're driving a car, when you're riding a bicycle, when you're jumping in the water and swimming, all of those things are subconsciously now programmed. You're not thinking about it, you're just doing it, right? I don't think about all the steps that I have to take when I get in the car and drive. I've been driving for, 38 years. I've been driving for 38 years. That's now deeply ingrained in my subconscious. So, and there are lots of things like that. Lots of different things. When I'm doing things on the computer, when I'm, gardening and I'm exercising, lots of things right now I have programmed into myself. They're in my subconscious programming. Making my bed up. I've made my bed up every day for 17 years. That is in my subconscious programming. I don't even have to think about it. It's just as soon as my feet hit the floor, I start making up my bed. I turn around and I start every time. People think it's crazy, but that's in my subconscious programming now. And so I'm asking you to put really good things in your subconscious programming. Things that are going to help you get what you want. Things that are going to help you manifest the love, the marriage, the wedding, the children, or anything else, the money, anything else that you want. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you, and I'm getting back to the Kevin Samuels example. So for him, it was all about competing. It was all about, if you don't have this, you're not going to get this. If you're not this, you're not going to have that. Like it was very much, it was based in logic. It was based in this rational thinking all the way through. It did not leave any room for the spiritual. It did not leave any room for the creative mind. And if you talk like that to people and they have no idea about the spiritual plane, if they have no idea about the creative mind, the ability to create, that's who we are as human beings. And so if you talk to people like that and they have no idea about this other realm, they're resigned. Like they're defeated. They leave that feeling defeated. And to me, it's like more of that negative programming that you got in childhood. That's what I absolutely did not like about it. Because there were many people watching these videos and they were just defeated. They were like, well, I'm over 35. I guess I'm washed up. I guess there's no love for me. And see, here's the thing. You put a message like that out, and then women take that message in, and it becomes a part of their subconscious programming. They're done. They're done. They're believing that's true. So that's why it's so important who you listen to, whose messages you really absorb deep in your soul. I listened to maybe 2 or 3 snippets of his videos. That's it. I did not consume his content because I don't want that getting down inside of me. I'm in the process of reprogramming myself from childhood. That's the last thing I want to hear, that if you're over 35 and you're a single mother, you can hang it up. Like, no. That is not true. And here's the thing that I like to do. When I hear messages like that, I go off and I find counter examples of that. I go off and find women over 35 who are single mothers who are getting married again. So Shawnee O'Neal, I think she just got married this weekend. She's a mother of 5. She just got married to, is it Keon? He's a pastor. Keon, what is his last name? So clearly that wasn't her reality, right? But again, we have to believe in our creative mind that that's just because someone says it doesn't mean we have to take it. Doesn't mean we have to swallow it. Doesn't mean we have to believe it. Doesn't mean it has to be real for us, but that requires you being creative over being competitive. Like, you have to get ready to be a manifester. And that's going to mean that you are a creator, right? You are a creator. So here are some tips on how to manifest anything. And these are things I've been using for years. I want to share them with you. I want you to, if you have a pen and paper, write some of them down, okay? But these are some of the things that I've done in all these years to manifest a wealthy husband, to manifest, health, prosperity, success in my business, love, and all kinds of amazing things. These are the tools that I've used, and I'm still using these tools. I am still working on my programming. I'm still working on my mind and creating, right? Because that's what it's about. It's not about competing. It's not about logic and rationale and just, if it's this, it's this. If it's this, it's this. No, you have to go to that creative part in your mind. You have to work on those beliefs. You have to have faith. Like, when I put my mind to something, there's no other way it can go. It's going that way. Now, however long it may take, however much time it may take, that's where it's going. That's the outcome. That's the outcome that I seek. And then there is a part of this that requires just letting go, right? Just letting go. Okay, she says, question, do you save your lives? I do. I will save this live because I want you to watch it and I want you to write down some of these ways that I'm going to give you to manifest anything. So number one, working on your beliefs. That's a big one. You have to be willing to dig deep and say, what programming did I receive from conception till I was about 7 years old? Now, here's the truth. A lot of us, we don't have any memories before 5 or 6 years old. So you're thinking, well, how do I know, Anita? I don't remember. I wasn't conscious then. I was just a tape recorder. Like, I don't even remember because I don't have any memories of that. But let me be honest with you. This is how you will know what the messages were that you received. I want you to really take a good look at your life. I want you to really take stock where you are, what you have, the people in your life, the relationships that you have, the work that you've had, your family, your friends. Like, really take stock. What areas in your life would you like to improve? So whether it's around money, whether it's around relationships, whatever that is, chances are you got some limiting beliefs pre-wired in you. You got some thoughts around that subject that were not good. And now they have manifested. We're always manifesting, whether it's what we want or what we don't want. It's not something we can turn off. So what I encourage you to do is use it to your advantage. Use it for good. Because if you start thinking negatively, if you start saying over and over and over, men are like this, men are like this, men are like this, men are like that. Men are like that for you. Those are the men that you see. Those are the men that approach you. Those are the men that come into your life. I do not speak on what I don't want. That's a tip. Do not speak on what you don't want. I do not think about what I don't want. I don't think about what I don't want to happen. I don't think about what I don't want coming into my life, especially negative things. I just don't think about it. And I certainly don't speak about it. So please watch your thoughts, watch your mouth. That's super important. But the beliefs is the first thing. You must uncover your limiting beliefs. And so here's a great exercise. And I've been doing this for years. I will write this at the top of a piece of paper, and then I will just start listing things out. So here's the statement. What do I believe about? Fill in the blank. So I wrote, what do I believe about men? What do I believe about love? What do I believe about marriage? What do I believe about money? what do I believe about women? What do I believe about work? And I would just fill in the blank with all these different, fill in the blank, right? And then I would just start writing, and I would not think about it too hard. I would just start writing things that I heard, things that are just rolling around in my head that I say to myself. I just start writing. And sure enough, these are the limiting beliefs. These are the limiting statements. So you've got to work hard for money. Money doesn't grow on trees. We're not going to have enough money for that. Money is hard to come by. And love. So love and marriage is hard work. And you've got to be a certain type of woman to have love, or, just whatever limiting stuff, right? These limiting beliefs. But as you write things, those programs are going to start coming up. They're going to start coming up. I'm not lovable. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not whatever enough, right? Pretty enough. I don't have pretty privilege. I don't have a type of hair. I wear eyeglasses. I have short hair. I have gray hair. I have stretch marks. Whatever. The limiting beliefs will start to come out. And so that's where our work begins. We have to reprogram those limiting beliefs. But I have a saying, I've been saying this for years, and it has kept me fit and in shape, believe it or not, along with eating healthy and working out. But I actually say this to myself every day. I love my body. I love my body. I love the way my body looks. I love that my body is strong and fit and lean. I love my body, and I love the way my body looks. That's it. I never talk about losing a certain amount of pounds. I never talk about a certain number weight, a certain number in my clothes. I simply announce every single day, I love my body and I love the way my body looks. That's it. And saying that every single day, I then start moving in the direction of that. I'm doing things that make that statement true. So I'm eating healthy. I'm walking. I'm working out almost every single day. But it starts with, I love the way my body looks. I love my body. I love the strength of my body. I love the health of my body. My body now heals itself to perfect health. That's where it starts. Okay? So we're uncovering those limiting beliefs. That is the first thing we must do. We have to uncover those limiting beliefs. We have to understand what's really holding us back. And it is limiting beliefs, something we believe about ourselves. At one point in my life, so I took the Myers-Briggs test at several points in my life. And every single time that test came out, INFJ. And that really helped me to understand myself, because I have always been a loner to some extent and very much introverted, even though people don't believe that, because I'm not shy, but I am very much introverted. And that is actually one of the rarest personality types, INFJ. And so because of that, I believe that, I'm weird. I'm different. I'm eccentric. Like, regular people don't like me. Regular people don't get along with me. And I don't get along with women because, I just had all these weird thoughts about that. And instead of going in that direction, now I say, no, that I am unique. I have a very unique personality. And that's a good thing. I love being very unique. I love being introverted. For a long time, I hated being an introvert. I tried my hardest to be extroverted, to no avail. I am introverted. And so, again, some of these things I had to learn how to embrace. But we've got to uncover those limiting beliefs. And that's 95% of what you're doing, what you're saying, the things you're repeating over and over. The consistency you have is your subconscious mind. That's what it is. And you've got to uncover that. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is, again, Do not speak about what you do not want. Do not think about what it is you do not want. So if you sit around talking to your girlfriends about how crazy dating is, and oh my gosh, online dating sucks. It is so awful. Can you believe the men and what they're doing and what they're saying? And then I say to you, well, I mean, you must like that, right? I mean, you must want that. Oh no, I don't want that. Then why are you talking about it? Why are you speaking about it? Why are you telling it to everyone who will listen? Because what you're doing is you are calling forth the very thing that you are saying. Did you know that? And they're like, what? Well, I am? Yes. You are calling forth what you think about, what you speak about. Do not speak about anything you do not want. Do not think about anything you do not want. So if I have, if I have to be at the airport very early in the morning, and that always kind of stresses me out because I always worry about oversleeping. But you know what I do before that? I say to myself, first of all, I visualize myself walking into the airport on time. I visualize there being no line at TSA. I visualize checking my bag. I visualize getting there early, having a cup of coffee. I just visualize how I want it to go. I never say, oh my gosh, and we're going to be late, and then the line to TSA is going to be so long, and I'm going to have problems checking my bag. Why are you speaking about something you do not want? No. And again, you have to train yourself to be this way. Do not speak about what you do not want. I do not talk about what I do not want. So 3 levels in which we are energetically matching with things. The positive level, which is we're keeping our thoughts and our speech positive. Great. That has a high vibration. The neutral level. And sometimes you all, I'm in that neutral level quite a bit. So positive, neutral, which is I say nothing. So how about that? If you can't say something positive, how about you just don't say anything? How about you just distract yourself? You do something else. You take your mind off of the thing that's worrying or concerning you, right? That's the neutral level in which you're manifesting. And then you have the negative level. Oh my gosh, we're not going to make it on time. When we get to the airport, the line at TSA will be so long. I won't be able to check my bag. You're simply calling forth exactly what you don't want. So don't do that. Okay? Stay out of that realm. Positive, neutral. So even if you say nothing, you are still energetically better off than if you were negative. Okay? So remember that. Say nothing. And I've used that quite a bit. I just say nothing. Like if I'm in the worst mood in the world or whatever, I just don't say anything. I'm like, and I just distract myself, y'all. I go on my little slots game on my phone and I just play that and take my mind off of it. But do not speak about or think about what you don't want. Okay? Here's another tip. Visualization. And a lot of people don't fully understand how to use visualization. I personally love it. The last relationship that I was in, I visualized this man. I visualized us laying down next to each other. I visualized his skin, it was crazy. It was crazy. I visualized him to some extent. I visualized how tall he was. I visualized his hands. But visualization, and that's nothing more than just sitting, and it's like daydreaming, right? Like make up a story and make that story a good story. Make it a happy story. Make it a sexy story, right? Visualize you and this person hand in hand. Visualize you and this person out on a date, having a romantic dinner, out on a trip. Visualize you and this person snuggled up together. There was one point in time where I was visualizing this man, and I visualized like me laying kind of on his chest, but like right by his face. And one time when I was visualizing him, I could smell his smell. I could feel his like 5 o'clock shadow on the side of my face. That's how powerful it was. Like I could feel, I was like, whoa, oh my gosh. It got me excited because I knew this man was on his way. But I visualized the day of my wedding. I visualized us going on trips together. I visualized us working in the garden together. I visualized, all kinds of amazing things. But visualization, it is like adult daydreaming, right? And you're going to do it on purpose. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love to sit and visualize. I love to daydream. I love to make up stories in my head, especially about the things that I want. So my house, my car, the man that I'm going to be with, my wedding, vacations. I visualized all kinds of amazing things. I visualized meeting celebrities, and some of that has happened. Like, that's how crazy it is, but it does work. I've just simply sat and rolled those thoughts over in my mind. And here's the most important part about visualizing. I want you to feel the feeling. That is the most important part. You have to feel like when I was laying there on his chest and my head was like, the bottom of his face was close to the top of my head, and I felt his 5 o'clock shadow rub against my face. I was like, oh, the feeling of it and the smell of him. Oh, ladies, when I tell you I love a good smelling man, that's my weakness. I'm just not going to lie. A good smelling man is my weakness. A clean shaven, well groomed, good smelling man with beautiful hands. That's my weakness. Like if you got that, we good. Okay. And I visualize those things. I have visualized his hand on top of my hand. I have visualized his face, like his 5 o'clock shadow at night, like kind of rubbing against my face. I have smelt his smell. I have visualized his skin. I have heard his voice. Like, these are the things. And get into that feeling place. Like, oh my gosh. It is like addictive. But visualization. I try to take 5 minutes a day. It's not long. And it's usually, my favorite time to visualize is right when I'm waking up. That's when I tend to just lay there for 5 minutes. And I just visualize. I just daydream. I start dreaming on purpose of my guy. I start dreaming on purpose of my next vacation. I dream on purpose of any big goals or dreams that I have. I dream on purpose. I'm in the market for a new car, so I've been dreaming about that. Like, I just dream on purpose. And then 5 minutes goes by. I'm like, okay, I got to get up. I get up, I make my bed, and I'm done. But you can do this at night. You can do this in the morning. But the most important part is feel the feelings. You've got to feel the feelings. Okay? Next tip is called scripting. And I have used this. Not only have I used this in my own life, like the scariest part about this, I've used this for other people. Like, other people will bring me a problem that they have or just a concern. And I will go to my magic book, my magic journal. That's what I call it. I will open it to a fresh page and I will start scripting. I will start writing out exactly what that looks like and it turning around, right? So if they say, oh, I'm having problems at work. Oh, I really want to get this promotion. Oh, there's people at work that are, getting on my nerves and I really want a new job. I just open my book and I start writing about that person and their new job and how wonderful it is, how much money they're making and this and that and the third. And I'm just very detailed. I did this once for a friend of mine who said, oh, my ex-wife, she's being a real pain. We're not getting along and she's giving me trouble with the kids when I'm, seeing them and this and that and the third. I opened that book and I said, so-and-so is being so sweet and she's being so kind and she's making it easy for him to see the kids. And I just scripted out exactly how I wanted that to look. And about a month or two later, I had made mention. I said, hey, how's it going? What's happening? Hello, Louisiana. I said, hey, what's going on? And he's like, you're never going to believe this, but she's been really nice. She's been really sweet to me. And she's been, very helpful and this and that. I was like, oh, really? and I told him, I said, because I've been scripting. I've been writing that's how it's going to be. And here's the key to scripting. So you can use it for yourself. You can use it for someone else. But when you write it, now you're writing it exactly how you want it to be. So if it's a problem, you're writing it as if it's not a problem. You're saying, oh, my new life is great. Oh, I love the life I'm in now. I have everything I've ever wanted. Oh, my new husband is fabulous. We go here. We do this. I just love waking up to him. I just love the sound of his voice, right? You're just scripting it exactly the way you want it. And then you're going to close it and you're done, right? Like when I script, I never think about it again. In my mind, it is done. It is like going into Amazon's website and placing an order. It is done. That's what's coming. And I don't ever not believe that it's not coming. Just like when you place that Amazon order, you know your order is coming. You know your order is coming. I wish some of you had faith in your dreams like you have faith in Amazon, because that's what it's going to take. When you place that Amazon order, you know that item is coming. And I wish you had faith in your man dreams, in your work dreams, in your money dreams, in your house dreams, in your car dreams, and any other dreams. I wish you had that kind of faith, because that is the secret. You have to know that it's coming. I just turn away. I let go. I release all resistance. But I do believe in the outcome. I never not believe in the outcome. I always know the outcome is what it will be. She says, are you going to try online dating again with a new mindset? No, ma'am. So I am done with online dating forever, because guess what? I have been meeting men since January. I gave up online dating December 31st. Since January, again, this is what I scripted. I scripted the places in which I would meet men. And that's exactly what has happened. I met a new guy at the movies. I met a new guy at the grocery store. I met a new guy at Cheesecake Factory. I don't need an app. I don't need an app. I need my magic journal and my pen. And that's it. And I need the belief that this is my reality. I don't need a dating app. And think about it like this. And even I had to think about this. I've been in 12 relationships in my life. I'm 54. I've been in 12 relationships. I have loved 12 men, and 12 men have loved me back, okay? And I did not meet one of them on a dating app. So when I really sat down and I realized that, that's probably not how it's going to happen. That's not how it's happened thus far. And it's not to say it couldn't, but it's probably not. And so I just went back. I went back into, Anita, you just do you. You just do you. You go where you go. You do what you do. You smile. You send out that attractive energy. Because remember, manifesting is all about attracting. We are raising our vibration with our words, with our thoughts, and we're pulling the thing we want to us. What too many women are out here doing is they are chasing. They are hunting down or chasing what they want. Chasing the house, chasing the car, chasing the money, chasing the man. And I got to do this, and I got to be here, and I got to go there, and I got to... And I don't do that. I pull into my conscious awareness that which I seek. And that's what I want to teach you how to do. Okay? All right. She says, I think I've been journaling wrong all this time. Yep. Because what I want you to do is write out exactly how your life is, how you want it to be. And it must be in first person. So it's like, oh, I just got back from this trip to the Bahamas, And, my boyfriend of 18 months proposed to me with the most beautiful 3-carat diamond from Tiffany's. Like, you're going to write it as you want it. That's how it works, okay? And whatever that is, you're going to write it in, but feel the feeling. So as I'm writing, I am feeling so loved. I am feeling so special. I'm feeling so cared for. I'm feeling so happy. I'm feeling so content. I'm feeling so proud. Like every time I've ever accomplished a goal and I started writing it out before I even accomplished it, I felt the pride of accomplishing that goal. I felt so good inside, like, oh, I did it. I finally did it. I have the house of my dreams. I have the car of my dreams. I have the relationship. Like, I felt those feelings as I was writing. And here's the secret, though. Close the book and do not give it another thought. You're done. You release it. You let it go. It's like Amazon. You place the order is coming. And if ever you want to go back into that journal, if you want to script every night, I don't script every night. I script maybe once or twice a week. I don't script every night, but once or twice a week, I will pull out my journal and I will script. And then I close it. I don't think of it again until I pull it back out. But I do not worry about it. I do not doubt. I don't. I'm good. My order is in there. I'm straight. I am good, y'all. So yeah. Okay. She says, this is so true. I manifested going to my favorite place, the beach with my new boo. We went today. All right. I love to hear it. Yes. All right. I'm going to like that one. Yep. But yes, scripting. That is another tip. You can write as it is, as if in present tense, exactly what you want to happen. And let me tell you, this is when I really realized how crazy this was. This was like, even I was like surprised at the results I got. I was dating a man and he had an adult son and that son lived with him. And he was problematic in a lot of ways, but I wanted that son to get on his feet. I wanted him to get on his feet, get out in the world, leave his dad's home and just get on his feet and get out in the world. And I had good intentions and I also had selfish intentions. Like I can own that I really, just wanted us to focus on each other and not have this son there that was just causing all these problems. So I started scripting. That he had found a great job or that he had, met a girl or that he had went into the military. I just started scripting all these different scenarios as to why he was leaving his dad's home. He was leaving his dad's home. He was going out into the world. He was making his way. And I just started scripting. And it took about 5 months of just every now and again, I would script that. And then one day he said, yeah, you're not going to believe this, but he went into the military. He's going off to boot camp. He went into the military. And I looked back in my magic journal and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually scripted that. I actually wrote that, we're so proud of him now that he's gone off into the military, now that he's, found his way and he's gone off into the military. So this is incredibly powerful. Scripting is incredibly powerful. Okay. Here's another tip. You are going to stay out of the competitive mindset. When you think about life and everything in it as some form of competition, as some form of, I've got to beat out other people. I've got to be the best. And I'm constantly competing against everyone, right? When you have that mindset, you're not coming from a creative, spiritual mindset. You're coming from a very worldly, like earthly, that's kind of like, so there's a difference between worldly economy and God's economy, right? God's economy is up here. Worldly economy is down here. And in God's economy, there are things that we see happen and we can't explain it. It's just like how he said, those who are first will be last and those who are last will be first. See, we can't understand that with our worldly mind. But in God's economy, that's how things work. So you can give everything away only for God to give it back to you 10 times, right? That's God's economy. But in the world's economy, oh my God, why would you give everything away? That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy, Anita. Giving everything away is not going to get you rich. Giving everything away is not going to lead to prosperity. But see, that's a competitive, worldly mindset. And I want you to have a higher spiritual mindset. It doesn't make sense, but it works. So every time that I give, every time that I do, every time that I, have a client that says, oh, I'm not able to pay, or, oh, can you wait until next week when I get paid? Like every time I say, sure, no problem, God has that money come back to me 5, 10 times over, because that is his economy. It's a higher spiritual economy. And you have to believe this about manifesting, whether it's a healthy relationship, a healthy man. Like you've got to let go. You've got to let go of everything you don't want to receive what you do want. And there's a lot of fear around that. I know I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of fear about letting go of a man that I was like, well, is he good enough? It's kind of rough out here. See, that's when we start telling ourselves, oh my God, it's so rough out here. It's the worst time ever to be single. And I'm not getting out of my relationship. People out here are crazy. But see, you're thinking about that worldly economy. You're thinking about that rational, logical mind that says, oh, if you let go of this guy who isn't treating you quite great, there's no more men left. There's nobody better, or there's nobody that's going to come along that's a better fit for you. See, you're starting to get into that when spiritually, see, I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I know that in my creative mind, I have the ability to create whatever I want. I know that and I believe that. And so if I'm not being treated well, and I always assess, ladies, I'm not asking you to let go of the man you're seeing. Assess. You have to assess the pros and cons of that relationship. You have to assess how you feel in that relationship most of the time. If most of the time you don't feel good, that's not good, right? You are looking for the person that is the best fit for you. And you cannot base it on, well, we've been together a long time. I'm attached. I love him. No, you got to dive deeper than that, because there's so many people out here that are with people that they love. And they're horrible for each other. They bring out the worst in each other. And you know what I tell them? Okay, you can do this until you die. And hey, it doesn't mean anything to me. You can do this until you die. However, please don't bring it to me over and over and over. Like I can't hear about it. But you can be with this person, hey. But it's the fear that holds us back from situations like that. We get scared and we're like, well, it's really rough out here. I don't know. Not for us creative people. It isn't. Everything we want is out here. And think about it like this. I remember back in 2008, this is when I really started ramping up my manifesting. This is when it really all came home to me. So back in 2008, when we were in a recession, and quiet as it's kept, we're in a recession right now too. They just haven't used that word. So when we were in a recession, when the market, the bottom fell out of the housing market and everything went crazy in 2008, I went to New York City with my girlfriend. We went for, I think, 2 or 3 nights. We went up to New York City. And what amazed me, we were walking everywhere in New York. And New York's amazing, right? We're walking everywhere and we're going to all the fabulous stores and fabulous shops. And we were just people watching. Like we would just watch all these people and they were just going about life like nothing had happened. Shopping, coming out of Bergdorf Goodman and coming out of, Tiffany and Company. Like people were going about their business. People were going about their life. People were spending money. And I started to think to myself, wow, this is a limited thing only in my mind, because there are people out there in the world that no matter how high gas is, no matter how high food gets, no matter what the unemployment rate is, no matter if the housing market falls out the butt, people are living. People are still enjoying their life. People are still taking private jets all over the world. People are still flying first class. People are still going on vacations. People are still buying homes. People are still buying luxury vehicles and luxury items. So it dawned on me that it was me. It was my head, my thinking that was like, ooh, this is scary. I don't have no money. We're in a recession. And then I said, dummy, why are you thinking that way? There's all these people. We saw all these people walking around that wasn't a care in their mind. And then I said, Anita, that shouldn't be a care in your mind either. And that's when everything started to click. Everything started to click in my mind that the second your thoughts become thoughts of lack, the second your thoughts become fearful thoughts, the second you believe that it's not available to you, it's not available to you. So that is the biggest tip, is you have to believe whatever you desire. And here's what I know God has written in his word. If you desire it, if it is a desire of your heart, God put it there. There's a reason why you have that desire. And that desire is available to you. So me wanting to get married, me wanting to have a family, me wanting to have a big, beautiful home of my own, me wanting to have a business, me wanting to write books, me wanting to speak to people. All of that was a desire in my heart. And all of that manifested because God put it there. And as Joyce Meyer always says, what God orders, he pays for. But see, you have to believe that. You've got to get on that. You've got to say, okay, this is a desire that I have. It wasn't just put there for fun and games. Like, there's a reason why it's there. Here's your final tip. And I could go on and talk about this subject forever, but I'm going to give you one final tip. And this is the tip that actually I struggle with. I still struggle with. And I recognize that this is what's keeping me from ramping it up like to 1,000, but I'm working on it. I'm chipping away at this. Consistency. Consistency is the key to your healthy manifestation. You must be consistent. You must put your foot on the path and you must keep it on the path. You must keep walking forward on the path. Those steps could be small. Those steps could be big. Those steps could be sideways, right? Even if they're not forward, if they're sideways steps on that path, be on that path and consistently be on that path. So I have mastered some things in my life consistently because they've now become a part of my subconscious programming. But there are other things that I struggle with being consistent. And God has already spoken to me about this. He's like, oh my God, Anita, if you could just do this every day, like if you could just do this one thing every day, you could have it all. If you could just do this one thing once a week, every week for the rest of your life, you could have it all. Like that's what he's been telling me. And I know that to be true. So baby steps. I am actually going to take bigger steps very soon because I'm like, okay, I know I'm on the path, but I've either been standing still, I've been stepping sideways, and I need to start stepping forward. Smaller steps, then bigger steps, but consistency. And so many people, I remember my niece when I was teaching her this, I was sitting down talking to my niece about this because she wanted to know about this. How do you manifest all these things? And how do you teach me about law of attraction? Well, she thought it was like writing a letter to Santa Claus, that she could do it one time, change nothing in her life, and that just because, she had a couple of good thoughts in that moment, that this thing was going to come to her. And I said, no, it's a lifestyle change. You have to be willing to change your lifestyle. You have to be willing to change how you think. You have to be willing to change how you speak. You have to visualize fairly, regularly. You have to script. you have to change some things, and it has to be consistent. It has to be a lifestyle change. And that's what she didn't get. She started it and she would stop, and then she would start, and then she would doubt, and then she just gave it up altogether. And she was like, yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me, because you're not working it. Like, you're not consistent. You're not using the tools that I'm teaching you consistently. Here's another really great story. So for you ladies you have money blocks like me. I have money blocks, right? I own it. And very soon, that will not be my reality. I do not have money blocks. And so one of the first little tricks that I was given, and I've used this for years, 15 years I've used this. So you take a bill, you take a paper bill, the highest bill that you can afford. So the highest bill that I could afford when I started this was $20. You take that $20 bill and you find a glass or a plastic jar that's clear. Find a clear jar. It could be glass, it could be plastic. You can get it from the Dollar Tree. Put that $20 bill in that plastic or glass clear jar. I want you to put that jar on your bathroom sink, on your kitchen sink, on your dresser. I want you to put it somewhere where you can see that jar every single day. Every single day, you're going to walk past that jar. You're going to see that jar. And when you do, you're going to be like, oh, thank you, money. Thank you so much for coming into my life. Oh, I just so appreciate you. Like, you're just going to appreciate it. You're just going to thank it and appreciate it. Arigato. That's what you're going to say, right? Arigato. And you're going to thank it and appreciate it. And that money is going to attract even more money when I tell you. So now, that was 15 years ago. I have jars like that all over my home. Each one of those jars has $100 bill in it. There are jars in my home that have $100 bills that I have moved twice since I started doing this. I have not spent that money in 12 years, 10 years. The same $100 bill in the same jar. I have moved it from one house to another house to this house. And when I tell you that jar, that bill in that jar has attracted thousands of dollars to me and to my home, because it represents prosperity. It represents more than enough, right? That's what that jar is saying to you. You have money. That's what that jar is saying. Every time you walk past that jar is saying, you have money. You have money. You have money. You're not broke, right? You have money. Here I am. You have money. And that's what I would say. I would look at it and say, I have money. I have money. Thank you. Arigato. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you. That's what I would say every time I see it. And here we are. I have money. So I want you to try that little tip. I gave that tip to one of my clients about 2 months ago. I've been seeing her for 2 months. And she says, okay, Anita, because, I love stuff like this. I'm going to try it. And like you said, I'm just going to focus on the outcome. I'm not going to wonder about how it works and when it's going to work. I just love the outcome. I kid you not, you all. She came to me last week. She said, Anita, that tip you gave me, she said, I put a $100 bill in a jar and I put it on my bathroom counter. And I kid you not, she said, since I have done that, three family members contacted her about making her a beneficiary for their will. She also got a much larger than normal tax return. This was, I think, last month. Yes, it works. And again, it's an energetic spiritual practice. It's not going to make sense. That's the thing. I'm gonna admit that to you. I can't explain to you how it works. I just know that it works. And it's things like this. This is what I'm about. And this is what I teach other people. Everything is not going to happen. We're not going to see everything in the natural. Some things are just spiritually divine. You're going to get some breaks. You're going to have some good things happen. I've had so many good things fall into my lap that I'd done absolutely nothing to earn. And the reason why that is because I believe that that's possible. I really believe that. Good things happen to me. Good things fall into my lap. And I want you to believe that too. And then I want you to watch those things start to happen. So I'm going to end with this. The latest thing that I am working on manifesting, and it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. And it goes against a lot of the childhood programming that I have. But see, now I am working hard to erase that old programming, and I'm putting in new programming because it's a big one. It's $100,000 goal that I have. And I'm saying, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it in 6 months. 6 months. I see that outcome. And I don't even have to know how. I just know I've placed the order and the order is coming. And I can go about my business. It's just like when I'm not here at the house and I place an order on Amazon. Amazon's going to deliver it. I don't need to be waiting on my front stoop for that package. That package is there when I get home. And so I'm manifesting a big thing right now, you all. And the consistency is the key. That is the key. That's what God dropped in my spirit the other night. Anita, you can have that in a month if you just be consistent. But that's, you struggle. And so be consistent. Be consistent. Do the thing you need to do over and over and over and over and over. And the thing you want is here. It's already here. It's already available. So that is what I'm working on. But I would love to hear from some of you, some of these tools, some of these little tips that you are going to start using because they work. They work. I kid you not. And again, this is deep stuff. This is that spiritual, like quantum physics, far out, energy, vibration. This is all that stuff that, can I be honest with you all? I can't even begin to tell you all the ins and outs of how it works. I just know it does. I just know it does. And it has for years. For years. Everything I have, every person that I've had come into my life, I have manifested that person. And even friendships, even business relationships, networking relationships. I have pulled all of that to me because I have rewritten those old scripts. I've gotten rid of those old beliefs. I've put new beliefs in its place. And I remain open and receptive. That's a big part of your femininity journey. Remember, we talk about being open and receptive. So yes, you got to be open and receptive. If you are closed down, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen to me. That's not available to me. That's not going to happen. See, then guess what? Okay, it's not. Like, it ain't no point in you even asking because you just said it. She says, do you need to put a bill in the jar with the money? Just want clarity. Clear jar, plastic or glass, a bill of money. Whatever amount that you feel comfortable putting in there. But I'm going to be honest, the bigger the bill, the more money is coming. Like, I started with a 20 and now I'm at $100 bill in all of my jars. So the bigger the bill you can afford, the more money that's coming. You are never going to spend this money. This money is to remind you that you have money. You have it now and you always will. Money is attracted to you. Money loves you, right? Money loves you. You're money's best friend. And so, yes, you find you a clear jar. You put a bill in it, the highest bill that you can afford, 20, 50, whatever that looks like, 100. You place that jar somewhere prominent so you can see it. And it will remind you every day that you have money. You have money. See? And that jar will start calling to it even more money because it's a very interesting psychological trick to your brain that you have money. And again, when I started this, I I was living check to check, like I was barely making it. And I was like, I don't have no $100 to just sit in a jar somewhere. And again, think about this. That's what I believed. I believed I couldn't do it, but I had to start somewhere. And I started with 20. Then I put 50. Now I'm up to 100. Then I was up to multiple hundreds and in multiple jars. Every one of my children has a jar in their room because it's a reminder that yes, money loves us. We have money. Money is available to all of us. We are never broke. That's what it signifies. Okay, so I want you to try that. It's just a little interesting trick. I've used it for years. It works every time. And if you're thinking about using this for your love life, again, visualization is a huge one. That has pretty much brought me every man I've ever dated and loved into my life is just visualizing. Just visualizing. And I've told the story about how I met my husband. And I was a master manifester. I literally said on my birthday, January 23rd, I was like, I'm done. I'm meeting my husband. I'm done dating all these guys that are not my husband. I cut off every man I was dating and trying to get to know because they weren't my husband. Cut them off on January 23rd. Met my husband. No, it was February. I think it was February 8th. I met my husband February 8th. We spent Valentine's together February 14th. We got engaged May 16th. So, yeah. And it was so powerful. It was like I said it and I knew it. I believed it. And that's, even when I look back on it, I was like, man, I manifested my husband in like 2 weeks. But it was like when I said it, I felt it. I believed it. And I never doubted that it was going to happen. And it did. So I'd like to get back to that stage of manifesting because, yeah, I was blowing up back then. I would just say stuff and people would be like, wow, like you just said that last month. You just said that last week. Yeah, I was blowing up. I was on this thing. I was like, And so now this is what this is. That's what that is. And I just believed it. So I want you to try some of this. But get clear. Get clear about what you want. Believe you can have it because you can. But you have to do it from a creative mind state. You cannot do it from a logical, rational, competitive. No. You are feminine. And the feminine is creative. That is your natural state of being. You take a little tiny sperm cell and make it into a baby. That's how powerful you are. So I want you to use that same power, use that same energy to get whatever you want. Whatever you want. But you have to believe it. And you have to feel the feeling of having it. You already have it. I already have the man of my dreams. I may not physically be able to see him, but we are psychically connected already. And that's why I'm going to be so excited when we get to lay eyes on each other because we are psychically connected. I can feel that. Now, maybe it's I need to be better prepared. Maybe he needs to be better prepared. There is some reason that I don't understand, but I have never wavered on the fact that, okay, but that day is going to be upon me. I've never wavered on that. And I want you to get to that place too. I want you to believe in love. It makes me so sad when I talk to women in their 20s and even some women in their 30s. They don't even believe that love is real, that love exists. That is so sad to me. And I'm not talking about romance. Okay, let's get this clear. I'm not talking about romance. Don't go off on the romance train. I'm talking about genuine, real love. I'm talking about a person that's there for you. I'm talking about a person that puts your needs ahead of their own. I mean, real love. People who are stable and steady. Your rock. Not just the romance thing, because see, some of y'all are talking about the romance. No, we're talking about 40 years. We're talking about the real deal. It exists. It's out there. But if you don't believe in it, you will not have it. And I tell my millennials this, you will not have it. You will never experience love if you don't believe that it's out there. If you don't believe it exists, you will not have it. Okay, she says, how were you able to manifest your business? Did you do it without using logic? So I will say this. I knew I would work for myself. I always knew that. And I'm not even going to lie to you all. I'm not a good employee. I'm not a good employee. I struggle with being on time. I struggle taking orders and doing what people want me to do. Like I always knew that. So God put that in me. He's like, yeah, I'm just getting you to the point where you can work for yourself because you can't work for nobody else. And I knew that. Some of it was very logical and rational, but can I be honest with you? A lot of it was jumping off a cliff and having no airplane, no wings, no glider, and no parachute. So that's why I say this is a creative process. It's not going to make sense. Everyone around me, especially my mother, she was like, oh my gosh, Anita, you're just opening a business? You're just leaving the group practice and you're just opening a business with no clients? You're just going to go off and do... I said, Mom, I know it doesn't make sense, but I need to do this. This is the time. And I just knew, I just believed. That creative mind of mine said, everything is going to be okay. Now, here's what's so interesting. My business opened July of 2019. And as you all well know, in March 2020, the pandemic was upon us. The whole world blew up. And so did my business. Like, my business was booming. My business has been booming since March of 2020. I have more business than I know what to do with. So, see, who saw that coming? I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. I did not think that my business would just blow up. I would have a waiting list of clients. Who saw that coming? But this is that spiritual plane that I'm always talking to people about. It knows everything. It knows the things that we can't know in this natural world. That spiritual plane can see a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. And so you have to be willing to tap into that, right? I tap into that because it gives me a glimpse of what's coming. It gives me discernment so I can make good choices. And those choices won't always look logical or rational. They won't make sense in the natural. But the spiritual realm teaches me, nope, now's the time. I know it doesn't look like it, but now's the time. And it did. And then I jumped off that cliff. And then sure enough, pandemic hit, my business blew up. And I was like, great, And now I'm about to jump off another cliff. My practice will no longer accept insurance. That's a big leap. I'm about to take a big leap. I will no longer take insurance. I will be direct pay only. And so, again, in that creative manifestor mind of mine, I start scripting. I start visualizing. I lean on my faith. I jump off that cliff. And I believe that exactly the way I want it to go, the way I need it to go, is the way it's going to go. I believe that. There is no room for doubt. There is no room for doubt. Fear does not stand a chance. I actually, I put a note in my phone about just fear, has no power over me. That's a new mantra that I'm going to start saying. Fear has no power over me. So, I believe it. I believe that. Okay. I hope these tips were helpful, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on this live with me tonight. And I know it's getting late, but hopefully most of you all don't have to work tomorrow. So hopefully, you were cool staying up with me for a little bit because you don't have to be at work tomorrow. So I don't know if you have something fun planned. I had a really fun rooftop party planned. I was super excited about going to that, and it got canceled. And now my backup plan is to try to get into an Omega Sci-Fi day party. So that's my backup plan, y'all. Wish me luck. I'm going to try and get into that tomorrow just to have a little something fun to do. But this is what I've been telling you, ladies. You need to get out there. I have been getting out there. I've been going to these little parties and going to these little dinner parties and going bowling and going to karaoke last week. I went to ladies' night last Thursday. We have skate parties here. Like, there are tons of places to meet men. Y'all need to leave these apps alone. Because, I mean, then don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't meet your husband on there. There's a few little people that are doing that. But I just want to see us get back to community. I am so tired of the virtual world. I'm so over it. I want us to go out into the world and look at people and touch them with your hand. And let them, and you know what else I'm sick of? Let me just get this off my chest. This is what I'm sick of, y'all. I'm sick of the long distance relationship. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Because everybody's meeting in this virtual world, you got all these people on dating apps, and you got people in Virginia where I live. Oh, but there's a cute guy in Florida. There's a cute guy in Texas. You can't touch him. You can't kiss him. He can't hug you. And that's like the new relationship. It's long distance relationships. I hate it. I hate it. To me, it's not real. It's not helping our situation. It's not. It's like we're going deeper and deeper into this virtual world where we don't sit in front of people. We don't touch people. We don't talk to people face to face. I'm over it. I'm over it. So no, I'm never going back on dating apps. I'm going out into the world. I'm meeting men in person. Those men are talking to me or asking for my number. And we're going out. We're going to do things together. Like, that's what I'm on. I'm so over this virtual world. It's just, it's driving me crazy. So I can't tell you how many clients I have. Well, I'm in a long distance relationship. The guy's in New York and I'm in DC. I'm just like, and that's not real. You know, that's what I want to say every time. You can't even get a hug. If you needed a hug tonight, you can't get one. No, that's not for me. She said, yes, that long distance stuff without first meeting in person is, yeah, it's crazy. It's making life harder. It's crazy. It's crazy. I have clients. I have coaching clients. Well, I met this guy and we've been dating 6 months long distance. They have never physically touched each other. And they say they're in a relationship. No, you're not. Like, no, you're not. You've never kissed that person. You've never hugged that person. You've never looked at that person's mannerisms or inflections. No, it's not real. Thank you. She says, no more dating apps for me. Good for you. Like I said, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Like, I'm going to be honest. Leaving the dating apps alone. You've got to put effort. That's the difference. You've got to make an effort. But that's why I don't like dating apps. They're for people who are lazy. They're for lazy men. There are men out there right now, y'all. Because remember, the holiday weekends is when the dating app stuff goes up. Because people are going to be off tomorrow. There are lazy men out there right now sitting somewhere in their underwear, scrolling on a dating app or messaging you on a dating app. They're not getting dressed up. They're not shaving. They're not grooming themselves. They're not wearing cologne. They're not buying you flowers. They're not driving their car somewhere to meet you out. They're interacting with you through a dating app. And if you know, you know. Y'all know, if you're on dating apps and you getting some messages. You getting some messages this weekend. And y'all know you are. And that's what it says, that on all the holidays, all the long weekends, oh, them men are burning them dating apps up. No, thank you. I don't want no parts of it. If you're not meeting me out somewhere, or if you're not, no, I don't want any parts of it. Nope. If we're not sitting across from each other at a dinner or we're not doing something together, no thank you. It's for low effort, lazy people. Sorry, not sorry. That's why I don't want anything to do with it. I don't. I'm done with it. So I'm willing to put forth the effort. And I'm willing to meet a man who's willing to put forth the effort. So the last 5 men that I've met, they went to singles events. That's where I met some of them. They were out, and approached me at the Cheesecake Factory, at the mall, right? Those are my men that are like, yes, I'm out and I'm willing to put forth effort to talk to this woman in person. I'm willing to put forth effort to try to make her laugh, try to make her smile. Those are my men. People willing to put forth effort. I am done with the dating apps. I wish they would all disappear so we could get back to living in the real world. And I know I'm talking to y'all on Instagram right now, okay? But the metaverse, that whole Instagram, Facebook metaverse, whatever, it's it's a blessing and a curse. Yes, this live is great. This is the first live I've been on, I think, in a week. But if I was doing this every night, to me, that's problematic. Y'all, can I be real? I've been living my life for the last week. That's why I haven't been on live. Because I've been tending to my garden. I've been walking my dog. I've been going to physical therapy and working out. I've been taking my daughter shopping. I've been living. I've been living my life. And that's my biggest complaint is why can't we have this? And it is something that, sure, it can be fun. It can be cool to look at a live here and there. But if we are on this 24/7, no, that's not fun. That's not fun. Okay, Natasha says she's joined networking events and been to several conferences. All right, that's what I want to hear. I love me some conferences. Woo, y'all. I went to a conference in Virginia Beach. I love me some conferences. And the men there be nice and groomed and looking all good and smelling all good. Oh, Lord, I love me some conferences. Y'all don't know. I love me some conferences. So, yes, that's the truth, okay? You will have to make effort. You will have to make effort. That's the truth. But the men will have to make effort. And to me, that's the men that you want. Those are the men for me. Men that are making effort to make eye contact with me. I'm smiling at them. I'm looking over all flirty. And they're trying to make me laugh. And I'm laughing. See, those are the men for me. Those are the men for me. But the dating app guys, no. Oh, she said she was just on her app. I know you were. Because them men are burning your app up. They messaging, honey. And they going to be messaging tonight. Oh, yeah, I know they messaging tonight. Because they I ain't got to be at work tomorrow. Shoot, I won't be on this app till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. They are messaging. I'm over it, man. The men are sitting on their couch in their underwear messaging y'all. And y'all be messaging back. I'm over it. I can't do it. She says, you manifested meeting these men and did the work to actually go out to meet them. That's right. That's it. I'm done with the apps. But here's the thing. Every day, I'm visualizing myself being out in the world and I'm meeting amazing men. I'm meeting them at Home Depot. I went to Home Depot, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I was getting more soil for my garden. I was getting a rosemary plant and some other stuff. And so, of course, there's always men there. See, y'all be sleeping on Home Depot or Lowe's. True Value and Southern States. I be at all them places. And the guy was like, oh, you must have a garden, blah, 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 right? He started talking. I was like, yes, I do, sir. I grow things and I cook. What? You cook? Oh my God, that's crazy. I haven't met a woman in forever that knows how to cook. And you grow the vegetables. See, that's all you got to do. See, start that conversation. There you go. That's it. And we started a conversation. Ooh, she said I've had it. This is Mel. She said I've had it for 2 years and gone on only one date. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I can't with it. I'm done. I'm done with it. I can't do it, y'all. The dating apps, I can't do it. I just can't do it. right. She said, I went to business after hours last week and was asked on a date. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. And keep going. And it doesn't mean this man is your husband, but to me, you're getting closer to your husband. Every date, every man that asks you for your number, every man that smiles, every man that holds the door open. I honestly believe this, you all. You are getting closer to your man. That's what I want you to see it as. When men approach me, when they ask for my number, when we go out, I don't necessarily think that man is my husband, but I know I'm close. I know I'm close. I'm like, I'm getting closer. See? That's what I think. I'm getting closer. Yes, she said, it feels so great to be acknowledged in person. It does. And it is real. Stop believing people when they say, don't nobody approach nobody anymore. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. See, that's their limiting belief. But it happens to me all the time. And all I do is visualize that happening. I see men approaching me. And men approach me through Facebook. Like they'll send me a message through Messenger. You know, they approach me that way too. But it's mainly now just men that I meet going out. And if a man approached me through Facebook, if he sent me a DM, if he doesn't get my real number, if we don't talk on the phone, if we don't meet out, if he's not local to my city, pass. Because again, I'm not looking for pen pals. I'm not looking for long distance relationships. That's not a real relationship. Sorry. It's just not. It is, again, it's another like metaverse digital relationship. That's what y'all are having. You're having a digital relationship. You're having a fake, talking on the phone, texting relationship. That isn't real. If I have 3 men right now that I am dating. If I called any of them and said, hey, I kind of need a hug. Or, hey, there's a light on my car. I have no idea what it is. I could count on them to come over. Like right now. Okay? That's the time I'm on. I'm not on the pen pal time. I'm not on the texting time. I'm not even, FaceTime is great, but I'm not even on that time. I'm on the come over. That's the time I'm on. Come over. Come over and see me. Come over and help me. Come over and bring me something or whatever that looks like. That's the time I'm on. But this long distance relationship thing, I'm over it. I am absolutely over it. I just don't get it. But that's what everyone is doing. And again, they're falling deeper and deeper into this, fake digital metaverse, whatever. Yeah, I can't do it. All right, ladies, I hope these tips were helpful. If you would like to know more about this subject, if you have any questions or comments, please put it underneath this video. Reach out, send me a DM. Perhaps I can give you a few more tips on manifesting, but it really isn't that hard. You've got to figure out those limiting beliefs. You've got to erase them. You've got to put new beliefs in there because the belief is the biggest part of this. You've got to believe that you can have whatever you want. You've got to believe that it's true for you. This is for you. Every time I see someone with something amazing, I go, ooh, that's for me. That's for me right there. That is for me. I really do, y'all. I really do say that. That is for me. I see that Rolls Royce. I see that. I'm like, ooh, that's for me. That's for me right there. That private jet, that Bora Bora trip, that's for me. Every time. Every time. And I believe it. That is for me. So I hope these tips were helpful. I will see you all later. Like I said, I'm trying to get into this party tomorrow because it's going to be several day parties and I'm trying to get into one. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy your day off because I know a lot of you have a day off. Monday is always my day off. I never see clients on Monday, so that's a day off for me every weekend. I always have a 3-day weekend. I got to look and see what this week's episode of the podcast is because I was supposed to be interviewing someone. That interview fell through, so now I'm going to have a solo episode, but it will be posted and up tomorrow. check out the podcast. If you have not gone over to YouTube and put in Better Love Movement, there is the channel. Go to the channel, subscribe to the channel. You can listen to the podcast on the YouTube channel. And I have a lot of other videos, just random videos. I even put my IG live videos on YouTube. So if you ever miss one, you can go over to YouTube and check them out. But I put a lot of fun stuff over on my YouTube channel. So head over there, subscribe, and like if the video brought you any value. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful evening. And as always, stay open to love.